Hello, I'm Andre from SIP, and today we're at the MOT in Landsberg. That's Thomas Geig, and today we have the opportunity to ask questions about registration of our tuning parts and changes to the vehicle. How to make it legal. I promised that there are different types of permits, for example the EU type approval. We have the SIP road, which has an EU type approval. What does it mean?
Okay, EG type approvals are general operating permits, which are valid throughout Europe. Usually they don't have to be registered if the area of use of the vehicle is adhered, so they can be installed on your vehicle and you can use it in the road traffic.
So that means if I have a PX200 and legally install the SIP road for the PX200 with the EG type approval, then I'm fine. What is the situation like if I have a VBB, an old Vespa, an oldie with a 200cc engine installed with a legal exhaust? What does it look like then?
That makes things more complicated. Because of the 8-inch wheels, we would have a different transmission ratio. The noise levels would deviate, and because of that, we would need an individual acceptance test, and we would have to do a noise measurement.
Okay, can you orientate yourself at the EU type approval and say, well, if the PX makes that much noise, the Sprint, which is kinda similar, must have about the same noise level?
Unfortunately not. There are strict regulations which you can check in the report, and we have to stick to that.
Then we still have parts with a KBA number. What does that mean? For example, the shock absorbers and the rims from SIP, they all have a KBA number.
So, KBA numbers are general operating permits according to national law, so according to German law. Basically, they mean the same thing as an EU or EG type approval. It's also handled the same. So if the number is on it and the area of use is adhered, you can legally use them in the traffic and there is no acceptance test needed.
Do I have to carry the general operating permit and the EG type approval with me? Or is it enough if they are somewhere registered on your server or at the admissions office?
So, you should have the document with you, because for a police officer, it's always difficult to know if the KBA number fits the vehicle or not. That's why I recommend to have the document with you to assign the KBA number to a vehicle.
Now, what if I don't have any documents? If I did a crazy conversion, or if I was the first to do any conversion?
You can do that as well, but we'd have to manually look at every single inspection point, which is listed in the parts report. Means that we need performance measurements, noise measurements for the gain of performance. For other changes, you would have to carry out appropriate tests and verify them.
Okay, then I heard there's one more thing. There's this parts report category, the ABE and KBA category, and then there's a test report or something. Can you explain that?
Test reports do exist too. These are actually just basics for acceptance tests. A test report normally tests only a single inspection point, so that doesn't fulfill every requirement of a parts report and isn't a test certificate, like a parts report. You can sort of take that as the base for an acceptance test, but we would have to check if all inspection points are fulfilled.
If I have, for example, a parts report that includes cylinders, carburetor and exhaust, if I say I mounted exactly that, only the carburetor is bigger, then what's happening?
Then the parts report loses the validity, and we have to prove everything manually. It's like there was no parts report, so unfortunately we would have to do a performance measurement and noise measurement.
Okay, and for example, if I install an exhaust that has an ABE and combine that with a parts report, then both has been checked.
That depends on what SIP has had checked.
So for example,
if the combination was tested and if it's included in the area of use, means the EG type approved exhaust would have an area of use that matches the parts report, then you could do that. But usually the area of use only applies for standard vehicles. So in this case, an individual inspection would be necessary.
Und deswegen wäre in diesem Fall eine Einzelabnahme notwendig.
Okay, so in conclusion that means we're not allowed to mix the parts. So we have to, if we install a parts report kit, then you would have to install these kit parts. Or individual parts like the exhaust we can apply. But then we're not allowed to install a kit, so either or neither, we're allowed to mount.
Exactly.
Thank you for the many informations. Are you subscribed to our channel too?
No.
So please like, subscribe. I hope this video contributed a little bit to your enlightenment. Thank you very much, dear Thomas, for the support and that you talked and answered to us. Until next time on this channel. Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao.